This video summarizes key concepts from The Bliss of the Celibate 2003 by the esteemed Julian Curtis Lee, shedding light on the transformative impact of semen retention or sexual restraint, revealing in men marvelous characteristics that were once dormant. In the realm of today's world, words like vitality, grit, radiance, and glory have faded into oblivion, overshadowed by the pervasive influence of lust and sex addiction. This video serves as a reminder, encouraging us to recollect and embrace these innate, magnificent attributes of true manhood through the wisdom of Julian Curtis Lee's teachings. Join us as we explore the transformative power of semen retention. As you embrace semen retention or sexual restraint, a subtle change occurs, freeing you from inhibitions around other men. You also begin to perceive the special nobility of the male, especially the ones who are sexually self-controlled. You develop a sense to distinguish those from men who are uncontrolled. You develop the instinct to know about other men sexually. You can feel their sexual thoughts and know if a man has recently masturbated or sexed. You acquire the ability to distinguish individuals who are actively practicing semen retention from those who are not. You find a newfound ease in engaging openly about sexual matters with other men, as the previous discomfort gradually fades away in such discussions. Previously, the veil of your sexual attraction painted most women as desirable, if not inherently good. However, now you are evolving into a more discerning individual. Your awareness deepens, revealing the inner natures of women, and fewer seem as inherently good or desirable as they once did. You have ceased engaging in self-pleasure, even during moments of sleep. Erections only manifest in the realm of dreams. This shift coincides with a palpable surge in your daily energy levels. As previously asserted, the potency of sexual energy and semen extends to both the physical and spiritual realms within the human body. Just as wasting and losing it have deleterious effects, respecting and preserving this force yields positive effects. In the languages of peoples who have a spiritual culture, there exist various terms relating to sexual culture and the effects of sexual culture and restraint. Among these expressions is VIRYA, originating from India. VIRYA encompasses discernible attributes of character and demeanor that manifest in the sexually restrained man. According to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, it is declared, on becoming established in continence or celibacy, VIRYA is attained. A practitioner of semen retention develops noticeable VIRYA. VIRYA is a pronounced vitality that comes from the stored-up sexual energy. VIRYA means the increase of masculine qualities such as strength, stamina, energy, clarity, patience, and evenness. It also refers to a kind of aura, nimbus or shine, that attends the sexually restrained man. This transforming power of VIRYA swiftly manifests in a celibate male and continues to flourish, a testament to the inherent natural law governed by his preservation of the sacred male energy. In English, we possess a splendid term closely tied to the essence of VIRYA, namely virility. Virility encapsulates the state, character, or quality of being virile. And here is how the dictionary defines virile. Virile means 1. Having characteristics of manhood. 2. Having the vigor or strength of manhood, sturdy, intrepid, and forceful, masculine. 3. Capable of procreation. The presence of a virile man is universally recognizable. It transcends mere physical stature or actions, although these contribute to the manifestation of virility. Similar to the essence of VIRYA, it is a vital and healthful energy that radiates from his physique, countenance, and demeanor. Virile also implies a sense of primacy or purity. It shares an etymological kinship with the term vitality, signifying the life force or essence of life. However, virility has consistently been recognized as a descriptor of the quintessence of male energy. In arenas requiring courage and bravery, such as battles and wars, it is the virile man who is indispensable. When venturing into the unknown territories of the West, it was the virile man who was sought for the journey. For any endeavor requiring risk and great energy, the virile man or the semen retention practitioner is the one you want. He wins wars and protects others who are more vulnerable. Virility also makes a man unafraid to stand up bravely for principles. He can take unpopular positions if given reason. Virility in men is what makes them unafraid to fuck the system. These are some of the reasons why women instinctively gravitate toward a man who exudes virility. The virile man radiates energy, courage, and effectiveness. He is capable of taking action, standing resilient against oppressors, and enhancing the conditions of life. When observing the youth of bygone eras, our fathers and grandfathers, a striking prevalence of virility and the practice of semen retention in their appearance becomes evident. Furthermore, the deeds and accomplishments stemming from this virility appear more abundant among men of the past. In contemporary times, with the erosion of dharma and a rising tide of sexual addiction among men, the manifestation of this vital quality has become increasingly rare. In the present, the countenance of young men often reflects a sense of depletion, appearing drawn and listless. This state is exacerbated by the escalating and indiscriminate release of seed through practices such as masturbation, exposure to pornography, and sexual addiction. Wanton engagement in these activities dismantles the very essence of masculinity within them. The loss of virility, coupled with the depletion of VIRYA, is a direct consequence of the reckless expenditure of male sexual energy, leading to a natural erosion of robust manhood. The enduring presence of the term virility in our language can be attributed to the historical prevalence of sexual restraint among men of the past, who radiated with unmistakable virility. Today, this word is seldom used, yet it found resonance during World War II, where men of virility played pivotal roles in defeating formidable foes like Germany and Japan. The significance of virility extends beyond warfare. It is the driving force behind accomplishments such as building bridges, manufacturing cars, and inventing computers, all of which have been predominantly achieved by men. Nikola Tesla, a statue of semen retention and virility, for example, has invented many of the technology that we are using right now. In Oriental philosophy, particularly in works like The Art of War, a strategic insight suggests sending prostitutes into the enemy camp, underscoring the impact of sexual allure on human resolve. It is indisputable that the men who emerged victorious in past conflicts adhered to moral dharma, demonstrating greater sexual restraint and consequently heightened virility. Reflecting on history, it becomes evident that had men of the past succumbed to habits like sexual addiction, pornography consumption, and masturbation, the very concept of virility might be absent from the English dictionary. The defining characteristics of manhood, sturdiness, intrepidity, and forcefulness, would have been notably compromised. Sexual restraint is a component of worldly success of men, but it becomes doubly important in spiritual endeavors. Controlling the mind, as done in meditation, is often described as the most difficult and exhausting of all worldly works. So the thing that gives man VIRYA, virility, and energy is also needed for the advanced spiritual life of the yogi, monk, or saint. The wonderful Vedic saint, Ramakrishna, stated, "The first evidence of a man's progress in spiritual life is a strong grit, the gospel of Ramakrishna." Grit means firmness of character, especially in pain or danger, pluck and courage. From experience, man has long known that sexual restraint is linked to character and courage. Roman legionnaires were prohibited from any sexual activity while on military campaigns. Here Ramakrishna has linked spiritual progress to sexual restraint, which is what gives the grit. He is basically saying that when a man has made spiritual progress, he becomes sexually restrained. And this in turn is evidenced naturally as grit, more firmness of character and courage. Conversely, unrestrained and wanton sex destroys the character of man and takes away his courage. TEJAS refers to the sparkle in the eyes and the glow of vitality and charismatic aura around the face and body of a semen retention practitioner. Some scriptures, such as those of the Baha'is, refer to it as radiance. This quality can easily be seen in the faces of celibate yogis, such as Yogananda, Shivananda, and others. You can see it among the monks and nuns of some ashrams and hermitages, or in the faces of hermit yogis and saints. By gaining TEJAS, or the radiant aura of vitality, you will notice that you are sick less often. Many health problems will be mitigated or disappear entirely. You need less sleep, you develop a more even temperament. Few things irritate you or cause you to lose your temper. At the same time, you are bolder, more courageous, and show integrity. You develop consistency of character and more constancy in pursuing goals. You even begin controlling wet dreams. Now you are purifying your astral body and astral mind. When any come close to attracting you, it will always be a woman who is herself developing moral purity. You no longer create sexual experiences in the dream state. One begins to see the female form in a different way. In a state of sexual addiction, the female form often appears to wield a supernatural influence over the male psyche, essentially assuming the role of a de facto god. This prevalent and enduring condition significantly contributes to understanding contemporary societal dynamics, particularly in relation to women's perspectives on men and their evolving self-perceptions. Through the practice of semen retention, a transformative shift occurs in the male perception of the female form. It allows him to see it as a straightforward biological construct, devoid of any mystical or magical power. As the practice of sexual restraint takes hold, the male begins to recognize the fundamentally animal nature of the female body, akin to a child observing a creature in a barnyard. This change in perspective challenges and dispels the supernatural aura previously attributed to the female form during periods of sexual addiction. Rather than feeling her rounded features are erotic, he sees it as nature's way of the female, storing up fat for pregnancies. Instead of seeing breasts as something supernal, he sees they are glands peculiar to the female, meant for feeding young. Females with large lips are seen as the incarnational outcome of a lot of talking and eating. The female's sexual area, rather than seeming interesting, begins to seem repulsive and even pathetic. You see it as gross again, like when you were a young boy. You become aware that females are full of bacteria, dirt, and excrement. They let farts, have bad breath, and are generally unclean. You begin to coolly analyze the female form this way and see that from this consciousness there is little attractive about it. You also notice the social effects upon women of man's infatuation with her form. You begin seeing that almost all women assume males are no better than dogs, that all men inherently worship the female form, and that men are generally unable to resist any woman who gives them half a chance. You see that they have this belief based on actual experience with men, and the way men have actually behaved. You see why women have lost so much respect for men, yet you see how deeply unhappy it makes her, that she can't respect the male. You notice that only women who are morally pure have any attractiveness for you, and you can sense moral virtue in others as if with radar. This instinct is especially true for the semen retention practitioner and meditator. In the realm of spiritual virtues, intelligence becomes a tempting quality in women, transcending conventional attractiveness. In this elevated state, a virtuous man is exclusively drawn to women possessing profound inner virtues. Amidst a lineup of conventionally attractive women, only the one with moral integrity captivates his mind. Similar to a woman's intuition about male attraction, the spiritual man discerns the moral essence within a woman, immune to superficial allure. Any attraction to an immoral woman reflects impurity within the man. When on semen retention, the man's sense of attraction extends beyond physical appeal and embrace higher character traits within a woman. Intelligence, maternal qualities, and loyalty to her husband elevate a woman's attractiveness. For this discerning man, conventional sexy attributes are insufficient unless accompanied by high moral virtue akin to his own. Conversely, women with modest physical appearance can captivate him if they embody these higher virtues. His temptation now lies with very few women, exclusively those of purity and moral virtue. As men purify themselves this way, it naturally exercises a beneficial effect on all women. When men chase any woman, as in the lower state, women have no motivation to rise to a high moral station. So it is that as men return to purity and goodness, women automatically follow. This has been seen from age to age. Woman is the way she is today only because of what has happened to man. Others notice you and are attracted to you more than before, especially women. Deep down, women want men to be moral. Most women are instinctively attracted to the moral man, the man of emotional strength, and the man of physical vitality. Semen retention provides all of these. A woman also happens to be attracted to the stored-up sexual energy itself, which provides greater temptations to the retainer and to her. The retained sexual energy begins to be heard in the sound of your voice. Moral or spiritual development changes the quality of the voice. One of the ancient scriptures states that a sign of spiritual development is a more pleasant and attractive voice. There are indeed qualities that come into the voice of those who meditate much, and especially those who practices semen retention. Together, these elements transform the essence of one's voice in both men and women. Those with intuition and spiritual depth can discern spiritual and moral virtue in another person simply by their voice. Through a combination of meditation and celibacy, the voice takes on a deeper, more melodic quality, radiating a sense of joy akin to a smile. For advanced yogis, their spoken words resonate like a harmonious song, carrying a soothing and comforting effect on those who listen, attributed to the divine presence in their voice. The reason your voice improves is that you are becoming full of virtue, and this virtue can be heard in your voice. Seeking God is indeed the highest virtue, so anyone who simply seeks God will get a pretty voice over incarnations. You are becoming more like the divine being through your constant thought of that, and so your voice is becoming more like that of the divine being. You find it harder to find others like you. Occasionally you do, and there is great respect. You love solitude. Your thoughts are found to have more effect. Your words are found to have more effect. Your thoughts are found to influence your surroundings. People who spend time around you become more like you. Whatever spiritual realization you have, you become able to pass it to others. You become able to pass knowledge to others by look, touch, or thought. It is semen retention or celibacy that allows him to carry the spiritual charge that gives initiation to others. A practitioner can transmit any knowledge to another person, even the most esoteric, hidden, or abstruse, by mere thought. This is due to his retained sexual energy. This has always been true, still is. On a more mundane level, even a man who practices semen retention, who is not a God-seeker, will influence others powerfully through his thoughts. Even an ordinary celibate influences the world more deeply through his thought.